Hi, good evening. This is Peter Rupert, and today is March 8th, 2022, and it's about 6:03 p.m. All right. And this is a session of the Board of Assessment and Appeals hearing in room number 3. Room number 3. All right. So, welcome. I am Peter Rupert. You're Mr.
Lami Palik.
Okay. All right. And I'm one of 7 members on the Board of Assessment and Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal tonight. Your hearing is recorded, and the current time is about 6:04 now. All right. I'm going to state some things for the record. This is appeal number 17.
Okay.
Okay. And the property address is 33 Pine Tree Lane.
Yes,
and you're the owner, Palik Lami. And
no, I'm the manager. Kids the owner. No, just.
Okay. All right.
Okay. You know, it's for the kids, so it's not for.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. So, all right. And so the town has valued this property at $270,800, and you're asking for $180,000. A total reduction to $180,000.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So I need to swear you in. All right. As the owner. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to swear you in now. Actually, can you state your name for the record, whether you are the owner or the agent?
Yeah, my name is Ilhami Palik, owner of the 33 Pine Tree Lane, Greenfield, 06825.
Okay. All right, thank you. So now I'm going to swear you in. If you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment, appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, and where is the paper? Right here. So I just need you to sign right there, please.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
So this is your turn?
Today is my turn, yeah.
Is it tomorrow too, or just?
And tomorrow as well, yeah. Yeah.
So only this week, and next week also?
Yeah, I'm not absolutely sure. I think we are probably going to be done this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had like 500 last year.
Well, yeah.
So it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was everybody first,
Yeah.
Everybody gets shocked.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to be last year too, but I missed the date.
Oh, is that right?
I went there, it is too late.
Okay.
But this year, I wait whole year.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that you've come in.
Yeah.
All right, so now is your opportunity to provide testimony and ask to explain why you believe this market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $180,000 and not what the assigned value was, all right?
Yeah.
The market value is the most likely what your home would have sold for on that date. Please try to be as succinct as possible. All right, so.
Yes, the house in 23 Beacon View Drive, same size as my house.
Which one, 23?
23 Beacon View
Okay.
Drive,
Okay.
Same size as my house. And she appealed it, and she gets for $180,000. You know what I mean? So I think I am entitled to the same amount. Can you make one thing clear?
Sure.
I got 642, but I'm in 25 Beacon View Drive. So can we do same time?
Sure. That's fine. I technically only have 20 minutes, but if we can move this along, sure, absolutely.
This I have to
Sure,
wait.
absolutely.
I gotta go back to work,
Sure, yeah. Okay, so this is 23 Beacon View that you're saying that's a comp that you want to use, and that one was
yes.
Previously appealed and got
108,000. Let me get what exactly. Yes. You get for $185,000.
She had it reduced by 485.
No, her appraisal value is $185,000.
Oh, 185. Okay.
185,000.
All right. All right. All right. Anything else that you beyond that?
The same size. Matter of fact, that lot is bigger than my lot. I have a smaller lot.
All right. Same size.
But a smaller lot. That's why I asked for 180. But she got 180.
Has a larger lot. Okay. And all right. Anything else? Just that? Okay. All right. Not just that. That's pretty significant, right? Yeah.
That's I can the whole sheet. You know what I mean? But this is the most inconvenient one. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to end this particular one, and then I'll go to the other one just to
yes, sir.
Make sure. Okay. So it is. This is appeal number 17, and so just for you to understand that I'm going to present this petition to the full board or a majority of the board, and then we're going to deliberate and consider it and vote. Okay.
Yes,
and you'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of making that decision, and then all decisions we hope are going to be done in March. All right. If it's denied, you can come back next year, and if you're granted a reduction, you won't be able to appeal again until the next reval in 4 more years. And if you don't agree, you can always go to court if you choose to do so. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to conclude this particular appeal. All right. So that's appeal number 17, and it's 612. Okay. Ended at 612. And I'm just going to, just for the next appeal as well, we're going to do number, this is 25 Beacon, right? Okay, so we are going to do, this is appeal number 16. Let me just make sure this. All right, and the start time for this appeal is 6:12 p.m. And this is appeal number 16, and the property address is 25 Beacon View Drive. The owner is Palik Alami. The town has valued this property at $283,000, and you're asking for $185,000. And so I'm just going to have you sign again here that you are So, and just state your name actually for this particular appeal, and
Yes.
whether you're the owner or agent.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Ilhami Palik, owner of the 25 Beacon View Drive, Fairfield, Connecticut, 06825. I'm signing the petition.
Okay. All right. Okay, so again, this is your opportunity to present any
Yes.
information, and while your home is valued at the $185,000, not what was assigned.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, it's 23 Beacon View Drive
Okay.
is valued. We are identical.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I mean, half is wetland too, so I should be less.
You're in half of the wetland there, you're saying?
Kinda,
Okay.
yes, yeah, quarter.
Half or quarter?
Yeah,
somewhere in there, okay?
Yeah, so it doesn't have, it can be anything.
Okay. All right. And again, just that Beacon View was assessed at
Yes.
185,
Yes,
or valued at 185.
yes.
Okay.
I'm not selling it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping, you know, for my kids.
Sure. How long have you owned that?
About 4 years now.
4 years. Okay. Nice. And how many kids do you have?
4.
4? Okay.
So the way it works, I give my kids, you know, I didn't have a college fund, so I purchased house. So I figure this way, either they go to college, they work, they pay for the college, they get the house, or I sell the house, pay the college, they don't get money, or they get, you know, free education.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So first one, they say she wants to work and get the house. So this way, when they finish the college, they own the house.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna
Okay.
hand it over.
All right.
It will be there.
Sounds like a good deal. All right. Anything else that you want to add
No.
for this? Okay. So let me just,
It's simple, so.
yeah. Okay. So again, I'll be presenting this petition to the full or the majority of the board,
Yes.
and we'll make a decision and let you know of that within 7 days of that being made, and that hopefully it will all be made in March. All right. And if you're granted a reduction, if you're denied, you can come back. If you're granted a reduction, you will not be able to come back. And then if you don't agree, you can always go to court. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, if you any other questions or anything you want to add
No,
to the record? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in tonight, and
Thank you.
good
Thank
luck.
you for the
All
help.
right. Sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So I think we'll have to go now.
Yes. All right.
Thank you very
Have
much.
a good night now. All right. So this is appeal number 16, and the ending time here is 6:16 p.m. All right. Good evening. This is the start time here is 6:20, and this is appeal number 14. And so what I want to do is I just want to read into the record some information. Okay. Actually, let me just first state I'm Peter. Okay.
I was taking my phone out.
Oh, you're right. Okay. So I'm Peter Rupert, and I'm one of the 7 members for the Board of Assessment Appeals. And I'm going to hear your appeal tonight, and just let you know that this is being recorded. And as I said, the current time is now 6:20. I'll state some things for the record. This is appeal number 14. It's the property address is 155 Berwick Avenue, and the owners are Jeanette and Henry Walker. Okay, and the town has valued this property at $500,500, and you're asking for a reduction to $475,000.
Yeah, the purchase price, what I paid for the house is $475,000. Have I known it would be flooded that bad? Because my car was flooded last year. I probably would have paid for $45,000 or $430,000. I don't think I would have paid that much.
Okay, so let me just finish just reading stuff into the record, and then I'm going to have you swear you in, and you can give me that information. All right. But you are requesting a reduction to $475,000, or do you want addition, something additional?
Yes.
$475,000.
$445,000.
$445,000. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Just. Okay. All right, so I'm going to swear you in right now. All right, and actually, if you would just state your name for the record and whether you're the owner or an agent.
Okay, I'm Jeanette Walker, and I'm the owner.
Owner. Okay. All right. Thank you. And then I'm going to swear you in. So if you would raise your right hand. All right. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Okay. If you would just sign right here, and then I'll take that from you. All right. So this is going to be your opportunity now to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $445,000 and not the assigned value that the town has assigned, okay? Market value is most likely what your home would have sold for on that date, and just please try to be as succinct as possible, okay? So go ahead.
When I purchased this house was during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I closed on January 22nd, and I paid $475,000 for the house at that time. I believe because it was COVID, you didn't hear the noise because I'm close to the highway, so I didn't hear that much noise. But after moving in and then everything went back to normal, it was noisy. Last year, my car got flooded in my garage, so I wasn't aware that it flooded that badly in that area. Also, when I checked, because when I was thinking of moving there, my main reason was because of the price in taxes. Because my neighbors, they pay between $5,000 to $6,000 per year in taxes versus what I would be paying.
Okay. And what was the cause of the flood?
My car flooded. I still have my brakes, not the brake light, seatbelt lights. It's still on because I'm not able to find parts for that. Okay. So that's the only thing that haven't been fixed yet.
Sure.
But the what they call that, of the car was flooded.
Okay,
Close
like
to the seat, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So, well, let me just ask, what caused the flood though? Like, what happened?
It rained heavily that time. We had
Okay.
flash flood warning.
All right.
It rained heavily. And most of the houses there were flooded.
Okay,
Yeah.
so many houses were flooded over there?
Yes.
Right. And do you know, I mean, have there been floods in that area previously?
I asked before because it was like 6 out of 10 for the flood. But when I asked, they said it hasn't been flooded in a long time. So I don't know if I moved in the wrong time.
Okay. All right. All right. And how about the home itself? I mean, was it damaged?
No, just my garage and the stuff that I have there, like my lawnmower, because I didn't know it was going to flood that much. So all the equipment that I have in the garage, those were flooded. Some were beyond repair, some I got them repaired. Yeah. And some things I just had to throw out.
Okay. Right. And do you have anything that you want to share with me to say that value that you're asking is, a value that, is reasonable?
Because if I've known all this prior to, I'm going to be living on a street that is so noisy, I probably wouldn't have paid that much for that house.
Okay.
Or I was going to be flooded, my car was going to be flooded, I wouldn't have paid that much. So, I know the town said $500,000, I paid $475,000. I wouldn't have.
Okay. And do you have any, I know there's an appraisal in here. Is this the appraisal from the sale?
Yes.
Of the home? Okay. So, I'll look, I mean, there are comps that are used in here, and I mean, those are all things that you think are fair to look at, or how should I proceed?
The comps are far from where I'm living.
They are?
They're the houses that they use to value my house is nowhere close to my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so the comps too far. And do you have any other comps? I mean, any
the houses
homes?
In my neighborhood, they are $375,000 to maybe $4. The last house that sold there was $419,000. They were asking, I don't know how much it sold for. It's still pending, but it was sold for $419,000.
Okay, so a house on
right in front of me was 154 Berwick Avenue.
154?
Yes, that recently sold.
Okay, all right. So, can you look at that here? And you said that was sold for
the asking price was $419,000. I'm not sure what it sold for.
All right. All right. And okay, is there anything else that?
Just the taxes, because I am not sure why my tax would be that high. Since I'm living in the same neighborhood where everyone else is living, I don't know why mine would be so high, because their taxes, even this house, the taxes are like the tax for this house is $5,695, and it's across from my house.
Okay. So basically just saying that the taxes on other neighboring homes are lower.
Yes, are way lower.
All right. All right. Is there anything else that you want to add? Is there anything that you want to include in the file?
Yes. Here as well on my on this report card.
Okay, so the field card?
Yeah.
Take a look.
On my report card, it says the lot size is 5,000. On my appraisal, it says 4,792. So I'm not sure if it was a roundup cost or.
Okay, so the appraisal says in the land units you're looking at?
Yes.
All right.
4,792. On my report card, on my property card, it says 5. So I'm not sure which one is marked.
And then it says 5,000.
And also my land value.
And what about the land value?
My land value is way high versus all the properties that is a similar size. 177 Berwick Avenue, they are the same size as 4792. 119 Berwick Avenue is the same size. 145 Berwick Avenue is the same size as mine. And they're paying.
All right, so just can you just go back and tell me, so you said 177 Berwick?
177 Berwick, yes.
Okay.
Their land, we have the same size land, but I pay more for land,
Okay.
land value.
Okay. So, but I just wanted, so you told me 177, then you said 119 Berwick?
119 Berwick, yes.
And 145 Berwick?
And 145 Berwick, yes.
Okay. All right. And those you saying are similar
Same
size
as mine in land size, but I pay more in land value.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything else that you? No? Okay. All right. So let me just finish up here. Read the script here. Okay. So thank you. Would you like me to take that paper that you have and include it in here? Oh, it's in here.
Should be in there.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, what's going to happen here is I'm going to present your petition to a majority of our board and for deliberation and consideration, and we're going to vote. Okay, you'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of making that decision, and hopefully it will be done in March. If your appeal was denied, you can come back next year and appeal again. If you were granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reevaluation in 4 years. All right. If you don't agree with our decision, you can always choose to go to court and try to fight it in court. All right. So thank you very much. And if you don't have any further questions, this is going to conclude this hearing. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And this meeting is ending at 6:33. All right. Okay, the time is now 6:58, and this will be appeal number 33. Welcome. I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of 7 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. I can put my mask on here.
No, that's okay. I wasn't sure what the policy was,
okay,
I think it's safe.
Your hearing is also being recorded, and as I said, this current time is 6:59 now. All right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to state a few things for the record, and just correct me if anything is inaccurate.
Yeah.
All right. So this is appeal number 33, and it's 258 Farmstead Hill Road, and this is Vic.
Vic is short, good for short.
Good for short. Okay, Vic Chowdhury.
Yep.
And the owners are Vic and Jessica Chowdhury,
My
right?
wife, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then the town values this property at $2,303,600.
Yep.
And you're asking for a value of $1,400,000.
Sure. Actually, if I may amend that.
Sure. Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to do a little more diligence, speak with realtors, have a broker's opinion here too.
Okay.
So I think right now amending that value to $1.2 million.
1.2 million. Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay. $1,200,000. Okay. All right. All right, great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to confirm that you're the owner of the property.
Yes.
Or an agent, and then have you sign, swear you in, and then have you sign.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. Happy to.
So, who are you looking for? I'm sorry.
At 7:20 is the appointment.
Yeah, so you can just wait down in the lobby. All right, thanks. All right. Okay, so if you would just state your name and the property number, and that you're the owner.
Sure. My name is Vikramjit Chowdhury. Property address is 258 Farmstead Hill Road, Greenfield, Connecticut.
All right, great. Thank you. And now I'm just going to swear you in. If you would raise your right hand.
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks. If you would just sign right here.
Sure. Absolutely.
Great, thanks. Okay, so now this is going to be your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $1,200,000.
Sure.
And not the value assigned by the town, all right? Market
Sure.
value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and please try to be as succinct as possible.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. I realize you have a number of appeals and meetings, and so thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Really, truly appreciate it. I guess this is, I would say, a very unique case. I'm sure you may hear that often, but I'm hopeful that once I'm able to maybe highlight a few points related to this particular property that you might be able to help appreciate some of the finer nuances with this property. Maybe I'll just give you the history on the property. Property was built back in 1992. The property was built by a gentleman named Dwayne Dobian, who was a local Fairfield builder. Really poured his heart into the property, really built just a great home in Greenfield Hills for his family. He lived in this property till about 2015 period, at which point he passed away. The property ultimately fell into the hands of foreclosure, and so it came available on the market. At that time, my wife and I were residents of Naugatuck, Connecticut, and of course saw the property. I kind of was just we love the area. We and we have a little one, so we thought this would be great. However, we were unsure because it was a very daunting undertaking. The property is approximately 8,900 square feet. It's much more significant of a home than myself, my wife, and my 6-year-old daughter needed. But it's Greenfield Hills, and my father was a carpenter, and I really appreciated sort of the carpentry behind this home, and I could really it sort of spoke to me. However, first looked at the home, said great house, but it's just way out of our budget, and probably something slowly. after the home being on the market for 721 days, we were able to purchase it for $861,000.
How many days did you say?
721 days on the market. So probably unlike us, it's a larger property. It's a significant tax, proportionate at the time. But it also needed a lot of work. And it's sort of not for the faint of heart. There was some roofing damage on the property as well, which had caused some interior damage to the property. And there were, quite frankly, there were some, attributes of the home which probably don't, the swimming pool was in complete disarray. It was in foreclosure. Things like the home at one point when it was built, Mr. Dovian had put in things like copper gutters, all of these kind of things. Those had, once the property fell into the hands of the bank, sort of was neglected. Those things were all stolen, and so as a result, there was water damage into the interior of the basement. The swimming pool equipment was all stolen. It was, as a result, the home was getting damaged from the roof, water not being pushed away. The water was battering the pine moldings all around the home. So it was in very bad shape. I took the leap of faith. Sometimes, just kind of followed my heart on this property. We purchased for $861,000. At that point in time, the assessment was the fair market value according to the property town card was at that point considered to be north of $2.1 million. And so maybe that's kind of maybe point number one is, I'd like to just sort of maybe kind of punctuate that point, highlight that point. It was on the market for about 2 years. It wasn't a situation where we just got lucky. Me, unlike other bidders too, I think we're just daunted by the property. It was a significant, more than a fixer-upper. It was just a significant property. And so I think at that point, that really reflected what the fair market value of the property was that in that neighborhood. Subsequent to purchasing the property, started with fixing the roof, repairing the roof, and tried to repair the outside, painting the outside because it was significant mold, water marks and damage and throughout. So really we tried to make it as presentable as possible. But as I mentioned, I've got I've got a day job. This is sort of, so we've kind of got it to a point where we can, move into the home, but in terms of things like the other aspects of the home, the mechanicals are original, kitchen is original. I brought photographs. I'm happy to share those with you. Bathrooms are original. All of these types of things are original and dated back to the 90s. So when we think about, the property in terms of where it is, especially in respect to comparables in the area, which tend to have, over 30-year history, typically have some sort of remodeling done to it over the years. This is a little bit more of a unique situation where it's kind of still coming out of, the state of disrepair that it was in when we bought it. And so as a result, we have had the opportunity to speak to, realtors in the area and have a broker's opinion here too, and have a few comparables that I would love to, share with you and leave with you for your study of comparable homes that have sold in the area. And I've actually summarized these comparables for you on page 2 of the sort of the handout here. And you'll see that, for example, if I may share the first comparable, 125 Paddock Hill Lane, a very similar property in terms of scope. If you look at the closed price at the time was $650,000. This was also a unique property, I would say, in some regards. Similar more square footage, had a functional pool inside the home, actually. Well, functional, like I said, I shouldn't speak to whether it's functional, but it had a pool inside the home. And this property sold at $650,000, and if I look at the assessment value of that home too, back in 2020 was $1,195. If you compare that to sort of the bottom line of ours was still $1.5 million. So it seemed to be roughly a $300,000 gap, even at that point in time. And again, just a point of notice here is that with respect to, same thing, our pool was not functional. None of these areas, and nor is the pool area. Still, it's as is at the time of purchase. So this is one comparable I thought. Another comparable that I thought was a really interesting comparable, if I may spike out, is, I don't have the printout, but it's 111 Golden Pond Lane. This home sold a few months after ours in January 31st of 2020. This home, very lovingly maintained. Both husband and wife, our understanding, were ophthalmologists, really maintain the home to sort of what you would expect for the neighborhood, fantastically kept. The assessment on this home was $1.14 million, similar square footage, but impeccable condition. And this home sold a few months after ours for $1.35 million in sort of really almost like a renovated state, I would say, really current to modern. So again, I'm just sort of drawing just to be fair, kind of taking both the low end of the comps and sort of the high end of the comps just to be succinct here, but really sort of highlighting that, with this property, I think it's super unique. And, the home has when we talk about market value, I think one of the things that I'm just curious, maybe I don't know if you would be able to answer, or just generally my curiosity is with respect to the algorithm in terms of how fair market value is sort of computed, right? I understand the concept if you're going from 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, that's a more valuable property. If you're going from 3,000 to 4,000. But I wonder, is there like a fulcrum point if you get to 6,000 square feet or 7,000 square feet, where at that point the buyer sort of begins to, and in fact my own people advised me at the time of buying that when you're buying a home of that size, it's almost like it works against itself, right? Where someone is buying, let's just say, wants a large home, maybe 6,000 or 7,000 square foot is sufficient, they too will look at a home that's even larger than that and sort of that can get interpreted by many buyers as a negative point, in terms of maintenance, carrying costs, taxes, all of that. Mm-hmm. And so that's just another consideration is, this home has square footage, which is probably one of the main drivers of its, of why the appraised value, according to the town card, is where it is. But really, I think that there's a fulcrum there, and I think it's before this 8,900 square foot where maybe it's at 7,000, 6,500, 7,000. And I think at that point, the buyer's looking for other things, right? When you're looking at, I think, that type of buyer pool, they want new, they want functionality, and that's another, I guess, maybe point as part of the thing is a home that's sort of built might be smaller, but if it's more a newer build, it's going to have a more sort of that modern open concept layout. This home has a layout, really long, narrow hallways, very compartmentalized. Each room is very compartmentalized. Upstairs, similar concept. So a very traditional, very classic layout that you would even expect to see maybe a home in the 1900s, but the builder, I think, appreciated that style. To me as an individual, I think I kind of found it neat, but I think when you think about market value and what your average buyer is going to pay for it, it may not appeal to them. Mm-hmm. So that's another aspect there, I think, in terms of driver. At the time, we had also viewed this property, 88 Mary Mead Circle, absolute phenomenal level of finish, absolute I have that concept so here for you. Yeah, here you go. This impeccable property. The mechanicals, this home has like 7 air conditioning condenser units versus our condenser units were like ripped out at the time we bought them. So things like that in terms of, when we talk about fair market value, as I mentioned, I'm sort of repairing this on the side in terms of my day job. We just love the neighborhood. It was a good entry point. Greenfield Hill seems to have just an incredible feel to it. Go for a walk. So it's certainly, I don't want to say it's all negative. It's obviously a great neighborhood, outstanding, but I think when we talk about just fair market value of the property, things like the layout, things like mostly the condition of the home. I'm happy to sort of share some conditions of the property, pictures with you. I just took sort of running out the door today. Sorry, I should have probably had something more. But if you sort of swipe through these, you'll kind of get an idea in terms of, kind of what the, I'll let you sort of just swipe through those. You just get an idea. Like it's still the original type of finish to the home. Not that the builder didn't do an exemplary job at the time he built it, so I want to, but in terms of just the overall type of finish to the property. And mechanicals are original. You can see that they're going to need to be redone. And so, we've I'd asked for the broker's BPO, broker's price opinion. And then they've come back to that they believe that the value is really 1.1 to 1.2 million based on its current conditions. And based on some estimates we've gotten, the projection, the budget seems to be about $700,000 to $800,000. And I think if I look back on my experience, when I've done this again, I guess my answer would be truthfully, I wish I was a lot smarter than where I was, is because the one thing you realize is when you are fixing up, for example, my previous home, which was a normal, 2,400 square foot home in Naugatuck, Connecticut, you kind of go to Home Depot and you can buy something here, even a piece of wood for the exterior trim. It's not it's not a 3/4 inch piece of wood, but it's a 5 1/4 piece of wood. But I would never know how much. I would never think to stop and think how much more astronomical that would be. So it's like everything that you have to. It's a lot more expensive. So the budget to bring this home back in line with its market comparables, it takes a lot more. It's not just you could take what a standard finish home would cost and then sort of multiply by the size. It's really that. And so I'm kind of in a position. My wife and I, we've just kind of moved in. We've gotten our daughter in kindergarten here. We love the area. But we're hopeful that the town can maybe recognize kind of at least where the current state of the property is, and maybe take that in consideration relative to, it seems like when we bought it too, there was a significant mismatch in terms of what we paid and what the fair market value was after 2 years on the market. And, maybe that gap has narrowed a bit, but we still feel there's a significant gap in terms of the property. And so we're hopeful that, we'd love to stay here, but, at the same point, the taxes, when we purchased it, we were under the impression that, we would have this opportunity. Our real estate agent said that once you present everything, that was probably hopeful that maybe there might be some relief.
Sure.
In reduction in taxes. But feel free to ask me any questions.
So yeah, I just wanted to confirm, right? You said that you think to bring this up to value would be about $700,000 to $800,000 in terms of repairs.
Yes. To bring it to what the comparable homes in the neighborhood, and also to what we're seeing in some of these comparable homes here. I've got a couple of the other comps. I'm happy to share them. But as you flip, there's no pictures included. But if you were to look these up online, you would see sort of the pictures. Some of these homes have got. First of all, there's things like you'll see just like landscaping and things like that. If you drive by our property today, it doesn't look much. There is no other landscaping, right? And all of these things add up. It's kind of it's been a tremendous learning experience for me in terms of like you see this on television, you say, I want to pour my heart into this, and then when you sort of there's I swear there's a certain element or phase of it that you don't hear on TV. It's just a learning point. And it's a part of the journey of life here, but it's certainly I have a much greater appreciation in terms of what it takes to maintain that type of property and to build, bring it up to speed and the type of budget. And we're not giving up. We love the area. We love Fairfield. That was our dream, to come to Fairfield to raise our daughter here. But we're hopeful that at least the town would recognize that where the property is today. And the dream is to one day get it there. But in our case, it'll be a slow and steady, gradual process.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have any further questions. Are you going to give me that?
May I leave all this with you? If that's
that's
comparables with you. The broker opinion I'll leave with you, and the comparables, and so that way you've got all the information.
There's this one here. As well.
Is there any other points? That I might have missed, or anything else that?
No, I think you laid out
I think the condition of the property is probably the number one driver. I think then things like whether it's the swimming pool, like for example, they've got, I think the town card it says $90,000. I don't know if it's appraised or assessed, but for the swimming pool line item there, right now I've got a hole in my ground with non-working tank and probably a punctured plaster, right?
Sure.
So things like that. So it's like, and trying to get a pool guy in this day and age, probably, right? So things like that. I guess the condition is really the primary, and what it's going to take to bring it up to that fair market value that we see for the other comps, in terms of those are turnkey properties versus this is, not that yet. So, you can leave this. This is the broker opinion here.
Okay.
William Ray.
Great.
Yeah. I'll leave that with you. That's a copy of the deck here.
All right. So let me just wrap up here. Okay. So thank you. What's going to happen next is I'll present this petition to the majority of our board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. And you'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that decision being made. Hopefully we'll have them done by March, or the end of March. If you are denied, you can come back next year and appeal again. If you are granted a reduction, then you would not be able to appeal until the next reevaluation in 4 more years. All right. And then, you're always able to go to court if you disagree with our decision, okay?
We
So,
what
all right.
the board sort of comes up with, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have any other questions, this concludes our hearing, and, we'll, thank you for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
And so you're gonna leave that with me, correct?
Yep, this is all here, so I've got my summary and then the broker opinion, and then followed by the comparables that we looked at that are used in the broker opinion.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
You too. Have a good evening.
Okay, this is now 7:19. I'm ending hearing for appeal number 33. Good evening. This is Peter Rupert. This is appeal number 40, and we'll be starting at 7:22 p.m. on March 8th. Okay, I am Peter Rupert. I'm one of 7 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today.
Thank you.
And this is also being recorded, as I mentioned, and it is 7:22 p.m. All right, I'm just going to state a few things for the record, and just correct me if anything is inaccurate. All right, so this is appeal number 40, and okay, and then the property is 178 Jackman Avenue.
Correct.
All right, and then the owners are Brennan Brown and Jenna Stern.
Yep.
All right, and you're Jenna,
I
assume?
am, yes.
Right? All right, and then this the town has valued this property at $845,400. And you're asking for a reduction to $735,000.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
All correct.
Okay, well, that's a good start, right? Okay. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to confirm that you're either the owner of the property or an agent, and authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf, and swear you in. Okay. So if you'd state your name for the record and whether you're the owner or the agent of the property number.
Jenna Lee Stern, I am one of the owners.
Okay.
My husband and I.
And the property?
178 Jackman Avenue.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to swear you in now. If you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, so thank you. And if you would just sign right here attesting to that.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so now this is going to be your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $735,000 and not the value assigned by the town. All right, market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date. Please try to be succinct as possible. All right?
Mhm.
So,
I've gathered 4 comps
okay.
to support this.
Mm-hmm.
The first comp, the best one, 6 Stoneleigh Square, sold on October 5th of 2020 for $710,000. It is roughly the same living size and a little bit more land than ours. We'll start with that. That's our best comp
Okay.
in terms of house for house.
Mm-hmm.
6 Stoneleigh Square.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 710. The second comp that I have is they were difficult to find. 12 Rolling Ridge Road, which sold October 16th of 2020 for $814,125. The living area is 200 square feet less than ours. The land is 2,000 more than ours. It's a fully renovated house with an in-ground pool. So it is not. It's got over 2,000 square feet more gross area. Assessed at $814. So even with all of that, that's only $814.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, it's fully renovated with an in-ground pool. The third comp I have is 90 Webb Road. That sold for $675. It's a bigger house than ours, 200 square feet. Not as much land, not by much, but not as much land. And that was February 19th, 2021 for $675.
Okay.
And the last one I have, again, it's hard. This is on Galloping Hill. This is Greenfield Hill. It's a different zip code.
Mm-hmm.
And that one is, living area is 200.
That's 760, right, Galloping Hill?
760 Galloping Hill. Tiny, like 200, exactly, 200 square feet less, just 200, and 2,000 more square feet in land. And that was $810. That sold in August 4th of 2020. But again, that's 06824 Greenfield Hill.
Mm-hmm.
None of these reach 845. And the one that is the best is, this is between 675 and 810 are my comps.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you feel like the number 6 Stoneleigh Square is the best comp?
I think that, space for space, it's almost exactly our living space.
Mm-hmm.
It does have 2,000 square feet more land.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and even that, if that's the best one, it's got much more land than that.
Mm-hmm.
Do
you know where Stoneleigh Square is located?
6 Stoneleigh is, I do.
I mean, I can certainly look it up. It's not.
No, go ahead. I'm going to show you now. I thought it was Black Rock, like around Black Rock, like just up the way in Black Rock. I thought I had it in there. There are other, the constraint of the time frame, because there are ones that are just out of the time frame, but that are more almost right along our, almost exactly house for house, but it's outside of the time frame.
Okay.
This is not far from us at all. This is less than half a mile. Yeah, it's North Stratfield.
North Stratfield?
Well,
Stoneleigh is in North Stratfield?
It's, I don't know if it's called North Stratfield, because my friends who live in that area go to all our same schools. So
oh, really?
Stratfield.
Okay, all right, sure.
It's Stratfield. Below Skytop. Do you
Okay.
want to see where this is? I always gauge it by the club.
Okay.
The foot.
Right.
We're like, right, that's our house. Home.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was just one of those, like, how did we jump so high when all of these other comps are, 90 Webb Road is 675 in February.
It's February of 21, right?
21. Yeah. Feb 21.
Yeah.
And that's like, and that's a bigger house. So we're hovering right in that. I mean, I was kind of, 735 is a little on the high side, honestly, but I didn't really know how to calculate it so fast when I was filling out the application.
So I know though that you do have some like remodeling that was done. You want to just tell me about that?
Yes, it was a kitchen. That it was just that it was remodeled. We combined. We did what basically every single one of our neighbors did during the pandemic, but that was later. We combined the dining room and the kitchen just as a more of a family, just didn't even break the whole wall, just put a space in there, whatever, what we could do. We didn't have to put in the iron or whatever, the brace.
Right.
It didn't need, it wasn't load bearing.
Okay.
Didn't expand the footprint at all. Stayed within the footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what was sort of bizarre. It's like we didn't, it's not like we put an addition on.
Yeah.
Created this whole new space. It's just, we just took this tiny little kitchen and put it next to the dining room. Or lost the dining room, rather.
All right. Okay. I mean, I don't have any further questions right now. I mean, I briefly looked through your comps earlier.
Yeah.
So, it's helpful to have comps to look at like that. So do you have anything else that you want to add?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it just sort of speaks for itself. It's deceptive. It's a beautiful house, but it's small. It is what it is.
Right.
Square foot's the square footage,
Right. Right.
It's woods in the back. It's a game trail. We stay out of the deer and the fox and the, So in terms of our, in terms of the comps, they, as I say, they kind of in that time frame.
So tell me just, I do have one question.
Yeah.
So, here in the notes it says, top some kind of topographic, give me a description of the land that your house is on.
It's a funny parcel. It goes deep. There's a on Upper Jackman before Park. So you go past that crazy 5 stop sign, past the fire department. Nobody stops at the stop sign. five different. Anyway, so you come up the hill, and all along on the left-hand side, there are these crazy sort of long parcels, thin, long parcels. So you've got the house in the front, and then it just kind of goes into this little tiny thing, and it's in the back, and it's all woods, all in the back.
Mm-hmm.
The owners, two before us, cleared some of that area and made it sort of more usable. All of our neighbors, it's all just woods, basically all the way through. The house was difficult to sell apparently because of the way there's another house back there, and it's a shared driveway, which we didn't really know the problems that could happen with that.
You have a shared driveway.
We do. We have access over the driveway to get to it's a detached garage.
Okay.
So
access over the driveway to a detached garage.
Yeah. So it's just a single house standing there. We put a fence around it because we got a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our other neighbors don't necessarily. I mean, as I say, there's this piece of land that just goes all the way to Park in between the houses. That's just all woods.
Okay. That's in the back of your
home,
right?
Yeah.
And who owns that land?
That's part of our
it's just
property.
Part of your property.
Yeah, and
okay.
then there may be some stones that this is our property line.
All right. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, these are all like 1928 houses,
Mm-hmm.
This is old Stratfield.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of upkeep, and a lot of, some owners did things and others didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I say, but, the kitchen it was simply a remodel, an updating. There's nothing spectacular about it, other than it works for us.
Yeah, that sounds I think that's a nice feature.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to present your petition to a majority of our board to deliberate, and then we'll consider it and vote. You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that decision being made,
mm-hmm.
and then we're hoping that everything will be done by the end of March. If your appeal was denied, you can come back next year. If you were granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reevaluation in 4 years. And if you don't agree with our decision, you can go take it to court. All right, and there's be some instructions about that if you wanted to do that.
So
right.
I do. Then one quick question.
Sure.
I mean, is there any other information that would influence the decision other than the time frame of the comp?
We'll review this, carefully. The field card will look at those comps that you've provided. I mean, that's the strongest, evidence, the comps, and then we'll, just make our decision from there.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if there was any other evidence that I could have provided, I would have gotten it to you, but that's
Sure. I mean, if you think of something and you wanted to send it in, I would just do it, pretty quickly, like, by the end of this week.
No, I don't. I mean, that time frame is the time frame, and that's those are the numbers.
All right. So
the largest one is over 2,000 square feet more with fully renovated in-ground pool, so that's not a comp.
Right.
But it's as close as I could get in terms of, and that's still not even to the level of what we're being assessed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you.
Really
so let me just if you have any further questions, then this concludes the hearing, and you're welcome to leave. And just thank you for your time. Thanks for coming in. I mean, it's, you should be able to do this, and I'm glad that you did.
Thank you, Phil.
All right?
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Just want to say. So this hearing number 40 has concluded at 7:39. Okay. Assessment appeals. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be recording our hearing here. And so let me just start by reading in the time today. Today is March 8th, and this is appeal number 48, and the hearing time is 7:42 p.m.
Okay.
All right. And I'm just going to, well, like I said, my name is Peter Rupert, and I am one of 7 members on our Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'll be hearing your appeal this evening.
Okay.
And so right now I'm just going to state a few things for the record and just, let me know if there's something that seems inaccurate to you, okay? So this is appeal number 48, and the property address is 155 Moody Avenue, and you are G.G. Walker, the owner, okay? And then the town has valued this property at $410,300, and you're asking for a reduction to $375,000. Is that correct?
Right. Right. Or less.
All right. Okay. So, all right. Now, what I'm going to do now, I just want you to confirm that you're the owner of this property. So if you would just state your name and that you're the owner and the property address, please.
Okay, I'm Gigi Sunoco Walker, 155 Moody Avenue, Fairfield, and I am the owner of this property.
All right, thanks. And then I'm just going to swear you in. So I'm going to assume that you're raising your right hand. But
I'm raising my hand.
Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thanks. All right. So if you were here in person, you'd be signing a little paper here that says that you were sworn in. But,
okay.
You know. So, all right. Okay, so Ms. Walker, let me just explain the process here to you.
Uh-huh.
All right. This is going to be your opportunity now to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $375,000 and not the value that was assigned by the town. All right?
Okay.
Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and then just try to be as succinct as you possibly can. All right?
Okay.
So, all right, go right ahead.
All right. Well, the reason my property is worth a lot less than probably even houses 2 or 3 houses down is the fact that it's located across from DeSanti Tire. And it's basically in the midst of a toxic dump site. There are tires towering, there's garbage everywhere, it's nasty and noisy, there are trucks coming in and out, and nobody does anything to make sure that the trucks and they work on the cars all the way up and down the street to keep the business out of the rest of the street. And this has gone on for years and years, but the size of the business, although it's still located in the same property, has probably quadrupled. And so it's just nasty. You go outside and you'll hear people yelling and screaming and swearing, and it's like being in a like some big old warehouse where people are working on cars.
Mm.
And next to that is Bill's Crossroads, the additional toxic dump site of Fairfield. And although the winter is quiet, the summer is a nightmare. People till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they have weekends where they have hundreds of motorcycles to send on the bar. And they make the neighborhood, what is a nice neighborhood, they turn it into something that's just like it should be in, some bad street in Bridgeport. Mm. And that's my major contention. My house is not in the best of shape, and that's probably another thing that if we need to go into, we can go into that. Because of the amount of my taxes, I can't afford to do anything on it, and it's almost not worth doing anything on it because the amount of money that it would cost to fix this house, I would never recoup if I tried to sell it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and not really sure what to do. And so the only thing I could think of to do when I talked to the town was they said, well, you can appeal the assessment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you want to just tell me, when you say your house is not in the best shape, you want to just tell me what kinds of things are, you think need to be improved?
Well, don't walk barefoot on the wooden floors. That's for one thing. You'll wind up with a sliver as long as your arm. Probably all the windows have dry rot. Several years ago, there's a back porch area. The sun porch, it's listed on there as a finished room, which I wanted to ask you about. Mm-hmm. But I had to replace the windows, otherwise, the rain would have come in. But for $3,000, I replaced windows on a sun porch that is unusable, not really finished. I wouldn't call it finished. There's no heat. There's nothing. But anyway, there went more money. So
they're new, but you had to put new windows because the other ones were just leaking.
Yes,
right?
They were rotten.
Okay.
Totally rotten.
All right.
Nothing in this house has been replaced since probably, I don't know. I don't want to say 1925. I'm sure there were repairs done. There was a new roof in 2000 or 2007. There was a new furnace in somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, nothing really substantial has been done to it that I can't do. I mean, if I can do it, I try and fix it.
Yeah.
But the cost of hiring somebody to do a repair is so extravagant that I can't do it.
Yep. All right. Okay, so so you're saying that, I just want to go back to the DeSanti Tire and the Bill's Crossroads. So
Right.
you're saying that DeSanti Tire is right across?
Yes.
Right across from
My
you?
driveway is right across from theirs, and somebody backed out of there the other day and hit my car.
No way. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, this is a constant, ongoing thing. They're in, they're out, and Louis Patrick, the owner, lives on the other side of that whole complex.
Mm.
But there's no work done up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a huge parking lot. All the overflow could be accomplished in that parking lot, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
All along the back fence, along the property that belongs to Colleen Morgan, there are piles of tires. They're a health hazard. They're, probably a fire hazard. I know there's rats in there. They just stay there. No, the town doesn't come and say, "Hey, you've got to get rid of these."
Mm-hmm. And have you? I'm not my purview here, but have you brought that up to the town, like to have someone like a blight ordinance, the blight ordinance or anything imposed?
You know what? I never have. I mean, I have to live across from the street from them, and my family has known their family since 1925, probably.
Wow.
So I don't feel comfortable doing that, especially if they were to trace it back to me. So I have not done it. I just keep thinking, the neighborhood is changing, and it's a lot of young professionals and people with young kids moving in. Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised that nobody has started a complaint or initiated any proceedings against them, because it's just not, there's two properties. There's a rental property across the street that's on my side of the street, and then there's the strip mall that's on the other side. The strip mall that's on my side has been vacant for years. Somebody's in one of them now. But DeSanti could have moved the office into that, made a nice place for people, and used the area that they use for work and this and that, and stored all their tires there, and you wouldn't see anything. Mm-hmm. But they don't. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I can't even describe how awful it is. It's like if you got off the highway in the Bronx and drove through. That's kind of what it looks like. But just in that little area, I mean, it doesn't go down all the way to King Street. It probably stops after my house and Colleen Morgan's house. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she's got to live with it worse than I, because she's right behind them and she has to listen to it all the time. Mm-hmm. So, I just, this is the only way I could figure with how to complain with not making waves, so to speak.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's all good information. I think actually what I'm definitely going to do is come, go by that way, so I can see all that myself, and kind of understand a little bit better what you're saying. But I guess I won't have the motorcycles.
Right, the summer motorcycles, right. But you might have a couple unloading tire trucks.
Yeah, okay. And is there a particular time, like they're are they working, I'm sure they must work some portion of Saturdays, and how late do they work?
They basically, the only day that they do not work is a Sunday. So they work what used to be a half a day Saturday, but now by the time they leave, it's 3 o'clock. So it's basically turned into an almost all day on Saturday as well. They're there in the winter. It's probably a little later. In the summer, they're there at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
So bang, boom. I mean, the noise that comes over there. All of a sudden, you'll be sound asleep, and there'll be this humongous bang or boom. It might be the pneumatic drill. I don't know what.
Right.
But you know, it'll wake you up out of sound sleep. It's like, oh my God, something fell on the roof. So it's really, really, really unpleasant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That must be really frustrating. So,
yep, it is.
All right. So let me just, do you have anything else that you want to add?
Nothing. I had just wanted to, when we were talking about that back sun porch, what is considered a finished room?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not absolutely certain. So I'll bring that up and get clarification on what that is. I mean, because maybe it doesn't need to be listed as a finished room.
Yeah. Because it's basically. Well, I open the windows in the summer. It's still not usable, but it's not usable. As long as it's cold, it's not usable.
Yeah. Not
that I use it anyway. I mean, who wants a freaking sun porch off, the back upstairs? But it's not, I wouldn't call it, well, somebody put some molding up on it and stuff, but I wouldn't call it finished. There's no insulation. Oh, that's another thing. The house has no insulation whatsoever. So that's probably, if I had any extra cash, that would probably be like the really nice thing to be able to have done.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon.
Yeah. So just explain to me, what do you mean by it has no insulation?
I mean, if you punched your fist through the plaster, you're going to get that lattice board.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing in there between you and the outside. You put if I were to go into, some rooms are worse than others for some reason, but none of it has insulation. But if I were to go in the kitchen, which is on the north side of the house, and to touch the wall is freezing cold.
Okay. All right. So let me just explain to you what's going to happen here. So I'll be presenting your petition to a majority of our board as deliberation session, and we'll consider it and vote on it. All right, you'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days, and then we're hoping that all of our decisions will be made in the month of March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back again next year. If you're granted a reduction, you won't be able to appeal again until the next reevaluation in 4 years.
Okay.
All right, and then if you don't agree with our decision, you have the option of taking it to appeal and a decision in court. Okay. So
great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, and have a good evening. All right.
You as well. All right. Bye bye.
Good night now. Okay. This is appeal number 48, and it's ending at 7:57 p.m. All right. All right. Good evening. This is Peter Rupert. It is now 8:02, and I'll be hearing appeal number 89. Okay. So welcome. I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of the 7 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal tonight. We are recording it, and as I said, the time currently is 8:02 on March 8th. So what I'm going to do right now is just read a few things for the record and just let me know if anything is inaccurate. All right, so this is Appeal 89, number 89. It's for 1120 Hulls Highway, and the owner is Butternut Farm, LLC.
Correct.
Okay, and then the town values this at $513,400, and you're asking for a reduction to $29,430. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And so, what did I do with that?
I just got it right here.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I signed this one, right?
Right. So can you just, for the record, can you just state that you're the appellant? So are you the owner, the agent?
I'm the owner of Butternut Farm.
Butternut Farm.
Yep.
Okay. So
Yep.
just state your name, that you're the owner of Butternut Farm, and the property address, please.
Okay. It's Carrick Kenny, and I'm the owner of Butternut Farm that owns 1120 Hulls Highway.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, thanks. Then I'm just going to swear you in.
Okay.
Should have done that just for that purpose. All right. Do you solemnly swear? If you would raise your right hand, please. Right. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Thank you. So, now, I just want to point out there's this note on here, and you followed up on that?
Yeah. So they put that in the file today.
Okay.
So let me give you back because it will kind of bring it all together. But so we live at 1069 Hulls, which is across the street from 1120 Hulls Highway, and we have a barn there with some horses and donkeys and chickens. And so last July we bought 1120 Hulls, which had been operated for 10 years as a flower farm.
Okay.
And in some of the documents, you'll see, I'm not totally familiar with how like the designations work, but it was, in 2020 on the grand list, it was assessed at $20,000 because it was it had a farm designation associated with it. Mm-hmm. And so,
okay, what year was that?
That was 2020. So that was just 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I bought the farm in July, and the woman who I bought it from kind of let me know that I would have to, apply to get that designation again, okay, which I did in September.
Okay.
I wasn't aware that I also needed to file a declaration of personal property, mm-hmm, which was due in November. So basically, the way I look at it, so on the property is a barn that doesn't have any like plumbing, so it's just like a building and a shed, and so it looks like, at least from what I can tell, that the assessment went to basically the land value of the value of the land. Mm-hmm. So it didn't give a farm designation. So one of the things was I didn't file a declaration of personal property. I guess this office should send me one. They didn't because I wasn't on their list yet, mm-hmm, to be sent one. So I did file that when I appealed in February. And that's in the file, and so what I didn't know, I filed this piece, this M28 with the state, which I thought I had to go because it was a state form. Mm-hmm. So I sent it to the state, and they let me know that via that note that actually I got to file it here. Okay. So that's why I brought that in today. I just got that letter the other day. So, long story short, so I mean that's essentially. So I did file these, late, obviously in February, these things that needed to be filed earlier. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I didn't get much clarity as to why, I'm still operating a farm, the same kind of farm that was there, And so, in the supporting documentation, I kind of try to prove that I'm still doing that. And so, I filed I had to file in September, a sales tax filing, for sales, for proceeds. So I included that, kind of included soil tests and a farm plan to kind of let people know that it is, I was a lawyer and I quit and now I'm doing this full time. So this is, I wanted to kind of bring more evidence to the table to show that it's still operating as a farm.
Okay. Well, from what I'm hearing is it just sounds like there was a lapse of, the designation and
yeah, maybe like they wanted more supporting documentation. Yeah. That's what I think, and so, yeah, so that's what I did. And so, I know that I'm talking to Katie, like she wasn't, I don't know how common this is for you guys, like to be determining like a farm designation. She wasn't sure. She was going to look into what that process.
Yeah, we did a couple last year.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe she just wasn't familiar with it, but so yeah, that's it. And so today we're using the property where we live, which is earlier today. We have chickens there, so we're selling eggs out of the farm, out of the shed on the farm. And I'm using the compost from the horses, and I have some ornamental grasses growing on my property there. So the woman who I bought it from, who was also a neighbor, like she had a similar setup where she had the farm designation for that, and then for her property, she got some relief. I don't know, I hadn't seen her filing, but she gave me her old filing for the farm, and I just kind of basically almost mirrored it for this filing. So, but she was able to get some relief as well for her personal property because it was used as a farm. Not all of it. So it wasn't like 100. It was like some percentage, given of relief there. So, so that's That's how the two work together. The two properties that I filed.
Now I don't know if Katie mentioned this to you, but is this possible for either her or I to go up and take a look at it?
No, but she didn't mention. But please come by. Yeah. Okay. I'm harvesting pussy willow right now. If you need some, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else that?
That's pretty much it. It's similar to what I went through today, and in one of the documents in there is this one that shows like what it was. Just a couple of years ago versus what they came back at. So, just thought that was an important, piece of it. But, so, I think that's kind of essentially it. So.
All right. And had you had any experience farming previous?
I'm from New York, but for 6 years we were in Tennessee. And we bought a farm down there, and so we rescued these horses and donkeys down there that we had. And then I was still a lawyer, and I was coming back to the city, but I was doing it on the side. And then I had a garden, but wasn't selling any of so I was selling the eggs, but that was it, not the the vegetables that we were growing. So in coming up here, I left the legal profession, and then this kind of came in, so I jumped at it. So. I'm still taking a lot of classes at the New York Botanical Garden and stuff. Like flower farming wasn't, I wasn't doing any of that, so that's all new to me. But it's fun, you're learning a new trade.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been fun.
All right. So let me just finish up here with you. All right. So I'll be presenting this petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days, and then we're hoping to be done by the end of March.
Okay.
All right. If your appeal is denied, then you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you won't be able to appeal again until the next reevaluation in 4 years.
Okay.
And then if you don't agree with our decision, you can always decide to go to court and appeal it in court.
All right. Okay.
So. Anyway.
But it's 4 years, so it's every 4 years?
It's actually every 5 years. So this is the second year of the current.
I see. I see. So no matter where you come in, it's 5 years. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So, And, we could grant it all or just partial. I mean, that is possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, if you don't have any other questions or
I think
anything?
so,
All right,
yeah.
great.
And you have
appreciate it.
you feel free to go by if I'm happy to show you around if you want to text me too,
Okay.
But,
All right.
feel free to, especially the farm, it's right there and, pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Thanks.
All right, cool. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, so this is appeal number 89, and it is 812, and the hearing is completed. Okay. So this is appeal number 90, and the start time here is 8:18 p.m. on March 8th. And so I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'll be hearing this appeal tonight. Let me just go over a few things just to make sure the record's accurate. This is appeal number 90. It's 477 Lawley Boulevard. The owners are Mark Soretta and Mary Soretta. And the town has valued this property at $2,337,700, and the Sorettas are asking for an amount of $1,850,000, and Attorney Chris Russo is representing the appellants. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So,
should I sign the statement?
Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Here's the authorization. And then I have appraisal, and then I also just printed the field cards for this property, but also the 3 comps that the appraiser uses in the appraisal.
Okay. All right, so if you want to go ahead and...
Sure. So, the opinion of the value is $1,850,000 as of October 1st, 2020. The appraisal is prepared by Dan Conti with Baldwin Pearson. Dan does a lot of the appraisals around here. I actually have 3 pending court tax appeals with him. He does for Fairfield Beach Road. He does a lot of the coastal towns. I've done appeals with him, Fairfield, Bridgeport, Stratford, Milford. So that's kind of his specialty in what he focuses on in these coastal properties. And so the property, the house was built in 2012. It's 4,311 square feet in living area. It's on the low side when you look at the comps. It's only 3 bedrooms, and it's 2 full baths and 1 half bath. And when you look at the comps, you'll see that puts it on the low end with the other comps. So the first comp is 26 Edward Street. It is, Edward Street's right there, basically. It's like 0.2 of a mile away from this property. And that was sold for $1,895,000 in August of 2020. It has more living area. It's almost 4,700 square feet. So it's about, a little less than 400 square feet bigger than my client's property, but so here's the thing: it's 6 bedrooms and 4 full baths, 1 half bath, as compared to my client's, which is 3 bedrooms and 2 full, 1 half. So a significantly larger house, more bedrooms, more baths. That sold for $1,895 in August of 2020. Even room, it's got 3 more rooms. So it's a larger building, sold right near the reval date for slightly more than what we're valuing our property at. 68 Mirren is the other comp. This one's a little bit farther away, but still less than half a mile away. It's sold for $1,775,000, and this one is slightly less on square feet, a little less than 300 square feet, smaller than my client's property. But again, it's 4 bedrooms, it's 4 full baths and 1 half. So more bedrooms, more baths, than my client's property. It was also built in 2013. It's funny though, 2011 is now a decade ago, and those houses now are basically outdated in the Fairfield Beach area. There's so many new construction houses around there. So this one, while slightly less, has more bedrooms, more baths, and sold for slightly less than what we're evaluating my client's property at. And the final one, which hits right at the $1,850,000 that we cited for our property, 628 Roland Road. This sold in September of 2020, so just a month before the reval date. It is also slightly less in living area than my client's property, but again, it's 5 bedrooms, 4 full baths, 1 half bath. So all these comps have more bedrooms. One case has double the number of bedrooms than my client's property, double the amount of full baths, all of them, and the same half baths. But but all in this range, the 1,895 to the bottom 168 Murians, 1,775,000. And so with those comps, Dan came to his valuation at $1,850,000. Certainly the $2,000,003 just with these comps isn't supported. It's just way higher than what the comps seem to show. So that's basically it. I mean, the rest of the appraisal has got we have the pictures in there, and the quality of construction's average on all of them. So they're all pretty similar in a lot of ways, except for this difference in size, bedrooms, and baths, and again, just all in this range. But that's pretty much it. All in the beach area. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically it. He lays it all out. He obviously knows it better than me, but it seems to all with his comps all seems to make sense.
Okay. All right. I don't have any questions. I mean, of course, I'll go through this and. All right. Okay. Any questions for me?
No, that's pretty much it.
That's it. Now, you still have your other one to do, or you've done?
No, that was a different town.
A different town. Okay.
Bridgeport. I only got one in Fairfield this year.
Really? Okay. How many did you have last year in Fairfield? I mean, because I know you were in.
It had to have been 40 to 60.
40 to 60, yeah.
I think so. Maybe this is 40. Bridgeport, I had a lot too. The fact that Bridgeport, Fairfield, and Westport all rebounded the same year kills me. If they could somehow mix that up, it would make my life easier. But I doubt they're going to do it on my account. But yeah, no, that was there was a lot last year. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, you had to listen to a lot more than me.
Yeah. So you understand the process, right? We'll contact you. We'll let you know. The owners know that whether or not their appeal was accepted, and they can reapply next year if they are denied, and can go to court if they feel. All right.
Okay, great. Right. Is this the only week you have of appeals, or do you have
next week? This is actually, I believe, we'll be done with the appeals this week. Wow. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Okay. Have a good evening. Thanks so much.
We'll see you next year.
All right.
Unless I just keep going down, and we'll be there next year. All right. Have a good one.
Yep. Take care now. Okay. So this is appeal number 90, and it's 8/28 that the appeal is completed. Good evening. This is Peter Rupert. It's now 8:40 and on 8:40 p.m. on March 8th, and this is Appeal 101. All right. So my name is Peter Rupert, and I am one of the 7 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal tonight. All right. And we'll be recording, as I stated. Just right now, I just want to go through a couple of things in the record and just let me know if something is not right, okay? So this is Appeal 101. Mm-hmm. It's for 18 Ross Hill Road.
Yeah.
The owners are Mary and Andrew Tennant.
Correct.
And the town has valued this property at $1,099,900, and you are asking for a reduction to $855,000.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so if you would just confirm for me that you're the owner of the property, so just state your name and the property number, please.
Mary Tennant, 18 Ross Hill Road.
All right, thanks. And now I'm just going to swear you in. If you would just raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. And if you would just sign right here, please, that you were sworn in.
You go.
All right. Okay, so this is going to be your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $855,000 and not the value assigned by the town, all right?
Correct.
Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date. Please try to be as succinct as possible.
Sure. I actually have a copy for you of an appraisal that we had done.
Okay.
By a licensed appraiser just recently in February. And in that packet, you'll see there are 3 comparable properties to ours. And all of those are, one in particular, let's see, 131 Nutmeg Lane. It's very close to our home. This property has a full finished basement, 5 bedrooms. It was it's very similar features as our home as far as higher end finishes and tray ceilings and fixtures and such. But this house, did sell for $1,025,000. It was reduced to. I forgot my glasses, of course. I'm having a hard time reading this.
It said that it was sold for $1 million.
$1 million, yeah. So that property, it has, like I said, it has a finished 3rd floor, and it also has a finished basement. Our house does not have a finished basement, does not have a finished 3rd floor, does not even have a walk-up attic. It has a pull-down attic. And we have not made any improvements to our house as of October 2020. So I guess I just had a hard time understanding why our assessment would go up so much over the last few years, since we literally have not done anything to the home at that point. And then compared to the other properties, and then there's 170 Windsor, it's 0.7 miles away, full basement, finished basement. That sold for $899,000. Had a full basement, very similar, 4 bedrooms, 2-car attached garage. But like I said, the only difference was their basement was finished. Ours was not at that point. 278 Pansy Road. That sold for $829,000. And again, this house very similar, 3,500 square feet. This did not have a finished basement, 4 bedrooms, gas. And that one was, that's that. So those are the best properties that I could find that are most like our home.
Okay.
And again, we haven't made any improvements, so I just felt like, it was, I should speak up. There are photos attached of our house. I'm sorry, that's black and white. A printer issue, but there are photos attached as well as location map of where all of the comparable properties are versus ours, and real estate appraisal license. And I do have one thing to add that's not a part of this appraisal. For your record here, just because of the year sold, the appraiser could not put this into the comparable properties, but she felt that I should discuss it. That's one of the main reasons why I am here. So this house is directly across the street from ours. It's 23 Ross Hill Road. It has 5 bedrooms, all similar finishes. It has, there's a couple pictures. You could see their kitchen, has marble countertops, 10-foot ceilings, jacuzzi bathtub with numerous bath fixtures. Just to give you an idea, it also has a 40-foot gunite pool. And this property, is assessed or is it appraised at $901,600, and it was built in 2014. New construction as well. So ours was built in 2017, and it literally is right across the street. Same acreage. It could not be more similar than our property. But again, we couldn't include that in there. But there's a significant difference. If both of our properties went on the market today, they would be listed at the same price. Or those might be even more because of the 5th bedroom.
All right. So do you need a copy of this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's for your record.
All right. And you might want that's.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't bring it.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you want to?
No, I think that is it. And actually, in our house compared to 23 Ross Hill Road, we are a corner lot as well, and I think that that's something to note that that does devalue the home a little, being on the corner of Mills Lane and Ross Hill. So that's something else to note as well.
Okay.
And it's probably noted in there.
Okay. All right. So. What's going to happen now is I'm going to present your petition to the majority of our board, and we'll deliberate and vote on it, right? And you'll be notified by mail of what our decision is within 7 days of that vote, and then we're hoping that will all be done by March here. All right. If your appeal is denied, you can come back again next year and appeal again. If you are granted a reduction, and it could be the full amount that you've asked for or just a partial reduction, all right, you would then not be able to come back for the next 4 years till the next revaluation. All right. And then, if you don't agree with our decision at all, then you can take a next step and go to court. Bring it to court. All right. So unless you have any other questions, our hearing is over here.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Sure. Yep. Thanks for coming so late.
My husband's putting the little ones to bed right now. Well, he just put them to bed. I'm like, this is my bedtime. I'm watching Bravo TV right now. My alone time. Have a good night.
You too.
Nice to meet you.
You too. All right. So this is appeal number 101, and it has concluded, and it is 8:49 p.m. All right. Okay, it is now 8:50 on March 8th, 8:50 p.m. on March 8th. This concludes the hearing session for this date in room number 3, the Board of Assessment Appeals in room number 3.